Before we start, I would like to mention that I do not make these videos with scripts and usually re-record them about a dozen times. Why do I do that? Because scripts are for nerds. Hello, this is Evans. Sorry it's been a while. Day job had me very mentally drained, but I'm no longer at that job, so hopefully I have more energy to make content. Just giving a quick update on what's going to be happening this year. The 2024 album cycle was normal tracks. The 2025 album cycle was said tracks, but with R's at the end of titles to denote the difference in setting for the gameplay project that this music is based off of. And this year, instead of R's, it will be L's. This is because we're in a different part of the story where things are a little bit more messed up rather than upbeat and happy. As a result, tracks this year will be a little bit more aggressive than usual, though you'll still get chill tracks, every here and there. But for the most part, it's going to be a lot faster, a lot more hectic, and hopefully a lot better in terms of mixing and style. The album's cycle will start at the end of February with a new Super album, as is tradition, and will go back to the original album cycle's release times of being near holidays or near days that make sense rather than just being at the end of the month. Both because if it's always at the end of the month, I always feel kind of time crunched when I have to do that because I'm a person who has a very bad habit of making 80% of a thing and then being lazy for the 20% that's left. So this should help me actually get things done quicker and also will shorten the time between albums by a few days to a week. So you get a little bit more content faster. As well, the game for these albums is about to be in pre-production. I'm working on the art as well as the systems for the gameplay structure and such. I've joined a small dev team and they'll be helping me out with that. But in the meantime, there is work on a different game. We are in the testing stages right now and almost ready to release a demo. When we do, I will make an update here. And I am doing the soundtrack for that game as well. And when it's done, I'll be posting them here. I might post a early track depending on how things go. We will see. Also, speaking of games, I just created a game channel because everyone's doing it. Haha. But I'm making this game channel mostly to talk about games that I like, but also games that are kind of niche and deserve some type of videos about them because I was someone who grew up on renting video games from Blockbuster and Game Crazy when those were a thing. And so I've played a lot of really, really strange games, a lot of shovelware, a lot of licensed games, a lot of just random things in general. So I just kind of want to make a channel where I can talk about that kind of stuff. And I also play a couple of gacha games, so I would like to talk about those as well. As such, there will be more vids on this channel as well as that channel this year, as I want to try to actually learn video editing instead of continuing to suck at it. So there will be at least, hopefully, one video a week, whether it be an album or a video like this or production challenges again or things like, behind the scenes of how I make tracks and things like that. And one of the things I would like to do as well is to make mixes now since there's enough tracks to do so. So that way, if you have a few songs or a vibe that you really like, they'll be collected into one video for your convenience, so that way you don't have to scroll through a bunch of albums to find them. as well, the Bandcamp will probably start having a little bit of cut content added to it, which will probably be free to download because it's cut content. This will primarily be just tracks or ideas that didn't quite make it onto albums but aren't bad. It's just they didn't make it onto an album for one reason or another. So I'll probably collect them and post them there from time to time. I do want to make more albums this year. How many more? I'm not sure. But I do want to make more albums in different styles. I also want to take the albums that have been made in this project prior to Super Negative and retool and rework them. There are a few albums that I made prior to the start of Super Negative and before the start of this channel that were more in the noise and ambient kind of genres, hence the name Heaven's Noise, now just Heavens. But I quit that to do things like drum and bass and all that because they were very creatively unfulfilling. But I've decided to take these albums, rework the album covers, take the same name, and probably add something to note that they're different, and use the tracks that are already there, rework and resample them, and make them into the Heaven style that you know today. That way, it adds a little bit more variety, and it lets me redo some of the songs that I didn't like from the past and make them fit more in line with kind of what I do now. But that's all the updates I have for today. I'll let you know when something new happens, probably in a community post, and expect another video probably by Friday or Saturday. But until then, I will see you all in the next video.